Hello, and welcome to this latest instalment of James's interviews with famous pro wrestlers, past and present. And today, this week, I have none other than formerly TNT, but you'll know him best as Savio Vega. How are you doing?
How you doing, James? Thank you for having me here, man. And happy to talk to the people on the other side of the world.
Well, if I was in 80-degree weather, I'd be happy as well, man. I've just said before, it is freezing here. So, yeah, you're definitely going to be happier than I am.
80 in the 80s. I believe it was 82, 81, 82 when I see, watching the rain that just passed through in my area here. But it's hot. It's hot.
Oh,
it's getting hot here.
I'm just desperate for sun. It's been 15 months since sun. Right, so then, so I thought I was going to plough in, really. And normally I'd say I know you best from, obviously, the WWF days. We never got Mid-South wrestling, because I know you went to Mid-South early in your career. And we obviously never got Puerto Rico wrestling, but we did get a lot of WWF wrestling. And in the new generation, you were one of the bigger players on WWF TV in the mid-90s when I was growing up. And I saw your career through there very well. But also, you were recently on WWE TV with the Undertaker's Survivor Series. What was it? Was it 30th? Was it 30th anniversary of WWE?
30th, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
So how did that all go?
He
then?
was 30 years with that character, and he would do the farewell, retirement of the character from the ring. And he's a friend since I put step on WWF in the 90s. And we formed the group, the BSK, with Yokozuna, Crush, Fatu, the Garwins, Paul Bearer, Mr. Fuji. That's the crew there. And so they invite the rest of the crew to go to the retirement of the Taker. And I said, yes, of course, why not? And it seemed, to almost 20 years. I don't see the Garwins, don't see Taker, don't see Papa Chango. I was with Fatu in a couple of tours, but the rest I didn't see it for 20 years, man. And it was a good time. We have a blast. Jokes, old jokes, old things, and new stories that happened there, and at the bar when we went to the bar, and a lot of stories from the boys. Have a good time. Good to see old friends there.
Did you go back to the old days and start gargling the Jack Daniels before you swallowed it?
Hey, I never liked the Jack Daniels. Never. And Taker, I remember Papa Chango said to Taker, hey, do you hear this talking about that he don't like Jack Daniels? And Taker said, yes, I saw an interview. And where you go, Jack Daniels, oh. And he said, what the hell is that? Oh. He said, I don't like it. I don't like the taste. He said, you have to juggle it. You have to. I said, okay, let me try. And I try. And it's different. But still, I like better maybe Jack Daniel honey, and but easy with that. I didn't even drink too much that night because I eat already, and when I eat, I don't like to drink. And but I have a good time with my friends, with the brothers there, and we're looking for the next one right away.
Was it like a full weekend thing? Did you make like a whole week of it, traveling down and partying?
No. Was 2 days. We arrived Saturday. We did Saturday. We did the test, and Sunday was the pay-per-view, and Monday go home. Right away. It's in and out.
Yes.
In and out.
So what was the original plan? Was that the original plan? So you did like a rehearsal the day before, and then
no,
you didn't do a rehearsal or anything.
No. We just they tell us what to do. Hey, when Taker come down, you guys, everybody go to the ring. It's going to be a video package of him. Here comes Vince, everybody out of the ring. That's it, But the big party was backstage, of course, and back to the hotel. And we have our own private party with the BSK crew, have a good time talking, laughing, at the bar, Team White. They have me scheduled to do interviews for the Yokozuna video and take it also. And well, I did that in the morning. Then wait till the end to come out, and that's the way. You think that everything happened right away there. Now you have to wait until it's time. Now you come out, but you there hours before, many hours.
So who can drink the most? You're going to say you,
Yeah,
aren't you?
well,
You're going to say you, aren't you?
no, I don't drink too much, and but it's good to be with the guys. Team White, the referee, Team White. That guy, I love him. He is a great person. And when I walked to the bar, I saw him there, and wow, I was happy. So I grabbed him, I kissed him, I gave him a big hug, and we still all night talking to everybody and have a good time.
So I believe you met the Undertaker. Actually, I'm probably going to go back here because there was a question, and I was doing a bit of research, and obviously some of it to my detriment involves looking at Wikipedia. And Wikipedia said that the first time you were in the WWF was for a tryout match in the late 80s, but I can't see anything. I can't see anything sort of backing that up.
I don't know. I read that too, and I wrote to the people in Wikipedia because they even have my year of birth wrong. And I tell them, hey, I don't born that year. This is the right information, and no, that's the right way. I say, are you gonna tell me when I born? So they're crazy there. I never did a tryout with WWF in the 80s. My tryout was in 94. Yeah, 94. And late in the year, in November, something like that, that's when I signed a contract with them. And I start in Survivor Series pay-per-view and then continue to Raw doing Kwang, the character Kwang. But I never was there with them before.
Well, just sticking on the Undertaker because we're sort of talking about. Do you remember the first time you ever met him? And were you? He was a big star in the WWF, one of the biggest stars in the WWF by '94. Was there any intimidation to sort of go up and shake his hand the first time? And how was he with you? And was he a very, very nice chap and very helpful?
Always was a gentleman. I know Yokozuna because we coming from Japan, working as a tag team with Fatu Rikishi, Sam and Bader, Bam Bam Bigelow. I was with all those guys. In the 80-something, I was with Jim Ross. I was with Jake the Snake, Jim Duggan, all those guys in Mid-South Wrestling. Takey was around that time, but I believe he was in Texas, so I never met him before. Then later, when I went to the WWF, we are already pro wrestlers. Let's call it that way, and we know what to do inside the ring. So backstage is just behave and be somebody, be a professional. And when I met it, hello, how you doing? Him and Yokozuna would, become good friends. They have a story. Oh shoot, running. I just unplugged the phone here. So when we became friends, they put me with Harvey Whippleman. Then later they switched me with Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji. And I was put in we call him the diaper, the big diaper, yeah. the black tights on Yokozuna. And so they teach me how to do it. So I was with them in the road all the time. So I was I'm part of the 95, maybe 96, something like that. I was the one in charge to put the diaper on Yoko, and we traveled together. Always was Uncle Fuji, was Yokozuna, Fatu, and me. Then when Fatu was in a different tour, so I was with Yoko and Fuji. I always loved to drive. Yoko could drive, but he was so big, so I was driving all the time. And Uncle Fuji was in the back, snoring. Soon he put his ass in the car. He fell asleep. And love those guys, man. Missing those great people.
So you've mentioned Mr. Fuji. what was the first or worst rib he ever pulled on you? He must have pulled a rib on you.
No, he was already older. He was already older. He just soon he saw me working. He called me on the side, asked me question about Puerto Rico. He come to wrestle in Puerto Rico in his young years, and we sit down and talk about Puerto Rico stories. He told me a lot of rips that he pulled on people, and happy to be with him. He teach me the timing to get the timing in WWF. I was like too fast, and he said, "No, take your time here, there." He was watching my matches all the time. Every time I go to the ring, I saw him pull in a chair, sit down to watch my match. So when I come down, he give me the report and teach me how to work there. And he did that for a couple of months, till he say, "You got it. Now we on." And that's beautiful. You have an old timer watching you, teaching you how to work in some company, because not all the companies is the same. They have probably their ups and downs and how to get the reaction of the people. These days different, because right now we don't have no fans in the arena, and it's a little hard to measure that heat. If it's heat, you got the match hot,
no
or
feedback.
the match is cold, no feedback at all. So we just waiting to this Gaga pandemic going away, so we could come back and have that warm welcome from the fans.
So do you remember the first time you met Rodney? So it was in Japan, you say? Was it in like all Japan?
In Japan.
Was it in all Japan?
Yeah. No, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Inoki. I was there working with them, and was him, the Coquina, the great Coquina. And there was Bader, Coquina, Fatu, Sam, the Samoans, and Bam Bam Bigelow. That was the crew in one time. Then when they took Yoko to WWF, then Fatu, I believe so, and Bader. Bam Bam Bigelow. And was with Bam Bam Bigelow that I sang hello to Razor Ramon. When I saw him there, Scott Hall. We wrestled here in Puerto Rico so many times. And I say to Bam Bam, "Hey, when you see Scott Hall, tell him I say hello." So that's that he did. And when he come back to the next tour, that's when he say, "Hey, here's the number. Call him this day that he gonna be at home." I said, "All right." So I call him, and he say, "Hey, man, we talk, we chat, blah, blah, blah." Then that's when he say, "I talked to the old man, and they're going to give you a tryout. And it's going to be this day, this day, this day." I said, "Ooh." Well, I say, "I'm going to be in Japan, and I'm going to tell Japan people that flew me to Syracuse, New York." He said, "Yeah, okay, no problem." He picked me at the airport, and we went to the show. So it's the first time I'm with the company. New stuff, new people. Was a lot of people that I don't know, and others, yes, So I started working. I did my first tryout. He don't like my first match, so next day we wrestle again. I wrestle against some guy there. Don't remember exactly who, but they see me. They like what they see. I was doing the character TNT. And then later they become with the name Kwang and put me a mask. And I always says that the Kwang was a TNT with a mask. And I wrestled under a name called Savio in Mixed Out Wrestling, doing the same character with the mask, but with the different names. I already have the step by step of what to do with the character of TNT. They don't want to use they don't want to use the paint. So because the Road Warriors was there already, they use paint. So they don't want to use paint. And they put me a mask, which I love it. I love that character, Kwang.
Just going back slightly, because we talked about Undertaker and Yokozuna. So as just a fan looking on the outside, and I always read and see all these interviews, you always hear that Yokozuna and Undertaker in that time were the locker room leaders. Does that mean that they also were the judges in Wrestler's Court?
The judges, well, yeah, we used somebody to be a judge in the wrestler's court. Sometimes they are the judge. Sometimes they want to be the prosecutors. They, depends of the situation. Everybody choose what to do. And no, I'm gonna be this. No, I'm gonna be that. So the try come out. So you sit the guy in the middle, and it's, last night this happened, and that was the wrestler's court.
Were you ever?
Was good.
Were you ever taken to wrestler's court? Were you ever the man in the dock?
I was. Now that we're talking, I'm thinking maybe yes, and once I don't even remember why, but yeah, we have few guys sitting down for many times.
So you don't remember why? Do you remember at least bribing the judge with some Jack Daniels, maybe?
Maybe the Jack Daniels. I don't know. I don't even remember, to be honest. I know, but I remember in the dressing room, right there in the middle, a chair going like this, and they are just so, okay, you got it. I don't even remember. Honest, why?
All right, so there's one thing, because I watched the Yokozuna documentary like a couple of days before I came out, and there you were talking about, but there was actually one thing that I was really interested to know about, and you said that Yokozuna went to bat for you once because somebody was trying to get you fired. Yes. I don't know the story.
Yeah. Well, what I say there is coming in a book that we're working, and I will put everything in that book right there. But yes. But it's that happened in that was in Stamford, Connecticut, by the office. One meeting that Vince McMahon want to have with all the talent about some things that he have in mind, do it for the future. But all those guys that was there, nobody's in the company except the last one, let's say, was Taker. When all what he say come up, so we don't have the privilege or enjoy the like right now they have doctors, they have people that take care of the guys there, whatever. So that was request by us when we working there in the 90s, but don't happen until the 2000 something, and yes, was in a bar right there. It was a bar and restaurant, and I left. I remember I was there on a table, and I left next to the was a table, set of tables here. It's like a wall of plastic trees, so you can see either way. You could hear the people, of course. So that's when Yoko hear this conversation, and he just wait till the conversation done, and he just went around and talked to these guys and tell them why you want to get him fired when he's just want to bring food to his table. And use this and that. He cursed them, and everybody stayed like, "Who?" And next day, when he saw me at the arena, he called me. I remember he said, "Hey, come on." He said, "Yes." And he said, "This happened last night," and he explained me everything. And I understand perfect what he said. And I say, "Man, thank you very much." And I mean, you could try to get somebody fired, but have to do something strong, not for a stupid whatever. But that never happened. I stayed in a company, so I was getting back up by Yoko. If something happened, I know by Taker. Even when I finished in 1999, Jim Gross told me about everything's gonna be done because the Spanish whatever finish, and we cannot continue with the contract. They are already moving to something different. So all the Spanish side was cut, and I talked to Taker. I said, "Brother, I'm finished. I finished here. They let me go." He said, No. Let me talk to them to see if they could give you 2 more years. I said, "Well, we have a project in Puerto Rico, which was the IWA Puerto Rico, International Wrestling Association," and that's when I said, "No, we have a good project in Puerto Rico, and I trust this project. I trust this project big time." And he said, "Okay, you sure?" I said, "Yes." So we come to Puerto Rico. I'll bring him to Puerto Rico like 2, 3 times, and have a good time here. Thanks to him, he's a big superstar, and he always was willing to be with his friends, and I bring AAA Yokozuna. No, Yoko. I'm not bringing Yoko. We tried to bring Yoko, but I don't remember what happened. Kane, Mankind, Carangle,
The Rock,
Jericho. We bring. We have The Rock.
Yeah.
We have The Rock here in Puerto Rico too. We have good time with the guys.
It was IWA? Was it Victor Quinones?
Yeah. It was associates with Quinones, Victor Quinones, Miguel Perez, and me. And we work, our ass big time to pull that company, in where what we did was a good show.
So the story before with 1995 and maybe some people trying to get you fired that just wasn't warranted. You didn't say the names, but if I maybe possibly said, or shall I not say the name, but I'm assuming it might have been Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and that group.
Well, I could say like the FBA. I can agree or deny.
Fair enough then. Well, it's weird because I've written my questions because I just so assumed it was them. I've written a follow-up question. So if it is them or isn't them, I saw an interview. Kevin Nash gave a story on a plane where you might have gotten revenge on a sleeping Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels.
No, it was not Shawn Michaels. Shane Waltman.
Shawn Waltman.
1, 2, 3 Kid. Shane. What's it called? It's Shane. It's a different how to spell it, and Sean and Shane, whatever. So Sean Waltman. 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Yeah.
That was funny. The other day, I didn't even know where I put it. I need to look for it again. Pictures of me painting in a plane. We went to Europe or something like that somewhere. Long flight. It was a long flight. And in those long flights, I always night before I try to get myself busy doing whatever. So I sleep in a plane, and relax and have a good time in a plane. Just put in my music. So I wake up and I was paint. They pay me, and it was okay. It was a joke. So I did a joke back. But my joke was more heavy, and now that bring one thing to the other. Stupid stuff. But everything finished in a haha.
Yeah, I have it here that you may have cut off a bit of the mullet.
The cut.
Cut.
No, but I don't. I just pieces here, pieces there. Not all.
Yeah.
Before the ribs before was heavy. Where you got the ponytail and cut the whole ponytail, or to stuff like that. But no, I just chop here, chop there, put some foam all over the place, What's the haha?
What did you do with the hair? Did you like paste it up in the locker room afterwards? Or?
No. I just garbage in the garbage. That's it. Well, sorry. I didn't even pick it up. I just cut it. I leave it right there on top of that.
Fair enough then. Righto. I'm going to move. Yeah. I'm going to move in sort of skip ahead slightly because I had bits about Mid-South and everything like that. But I suppose I'm going to go straight to WWF. Yeah. I was wondering. So you've already said the story or the circumstances how you was it Scott Hall invited you for a tryout or put the good word into Vince McMahon. Do you remember? Do you remember the first meeting with Vince McMahon and how that went?
Yes. When I did my tryout. They after that took maybe 3 months, around 3 months. They didn't even call me. They didn't even say nothing. I was like, I already finished with Japan because the words was they're gonna pick you here. So just waiting for a job. I was doing nothing. My bank account is coming down. So I called one time 2 times. I called the office. The second time. Rest in peace, his soul, Pat Patterson, picked the phone and talked to him. I said, listen, I'm dying here. I finished with Japan to work with you guys and nothing happened. He said, oh, don't worry. We are busy with some shows, blah, 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 blah. But we're going to call you. Be ready anytime. I said, okay. So I trust the man. A couple of weeks later, yes, they called me. and I start doing the shows. But before that, when they call me, they arrange this day. You say, you're going to fly into New York, a limo pick you up. They're going to bring you here to the office. You're going to meet with J.J. Dillon and Vince McMahon, and you come back home in the afternoon. I said, okay, beautiful. Let's do it. So that's the way we did there, and arrived at the company. Here is Vince McMahon and J.J. Dillon, gentleman, businessman. My English wasn't that great, so I tried to understand better what they're talking about. Finally, yes, I left the company with a contract in my hands. So I went back to Puerto Rico in the afternoon. Nobody knows. Nobody. The only people know was my wife, my mom, and that's it. Nobody knows in the wrestling business what I was doing. So I'm back home. I went to my lawyer. Let's check this contract. Let's see, whatever they have there is already in a high level. They know what they're doing, and they're gonna take care of themselves in whatever matter. So read the contract. We just see the numbers. The numbers are better than what I was doing anywhere. And I said, let's do it. Let's work them. Then later, if we have to ask for more money, so we ask for more money. So, okay, we sign it. Let's do it. Let's do this business. I went to Mexico to have new costume for the Kwang gimmick, new masks, etc. And I just arrived. I remember it was a Monday when I arrived in Mexico. And when I arrived was already after 6 o'clock my time, Puerto Rico, and of course it's States. So I called my wife to tell her I arrived, I'm here, everything okay. She said, call the office. They called you today. They need to talk to you. I said, all right, I'll call them tomorrow then. So I called in the morning, and Russo was the talent relations secretary. And she said, all right, Kwang. I said, Kwang, you have to be there Thursday. But no, yeah, Thursday. And I don't know where was the pay-per-view. And was a Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, one of those two. Some Royal Rumble, I believe it was a Royal Rumble. And she said, you have to be in such and such a place because the pay-per-view is on Sunday and you are on a pay-per-view. That's my first pay-per-view. I'm like, okay. I said, listen, I'm in Mexico right now doing this stuff. I come back home on Friday. She said, no, you have to be there Thursday. I'm like, damn. So I said, okay, let me change my ticket because I just arrived last night. And she said, okay, do whatever you have to do. We're going to send you the ticket home and you have to be there. I said, all right. So I called the people of the custom. I said, hey, I need this. I have this problem. I got to go back home. And that man worked all night long, to bring me the most stuff possible. So I pay him already, pay everything. The rest of the stuff Monster Reaper, Ronda, send me everything. She was a great person, great human being, and so she sent me everything to Puerto Rico. And I just arrived Puerto Rico, and next day jump in another plane to I didn't even remember. I believe it was Texas, somewhere. Well, so to do the pay-per-view. So I have already new stuff, new masks, new this, new that. So I did my first was 5 seconds in the ring. As I could say, I come in, I did something with Diesel. I mean, it was Diesel. Blah blah blah. He gave me a kick over the top rope. That's it. I just arrived home. 1 week later, the check arrived. When I saw that check, I said, wow, that helped me a lot. So fix whatever I have down and put it straight, pay everything, put in myself in good condition to be there. And that helped me to, that gave me a good jump start, and hey, getting paid for what you love to do in the ring, travel the world, and get paid for, priceless.
Did actually, I've got a couple of questions arising from that. One, so your first match was straight into Royal Rumble, and then Diesel throws you straight out again. Were you thinking, I was hoping to stay in a bit longer, make a bit more of an impression, or were you just happy to be invited to the show?
No, because I know, I already have close to maybe 15 years in the business. I know what to do. I know for what I was going over there. I understand the business, so this is what you're going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So I did, and that's it. They paid me for that. Of course, I'm under contract, so I have to do what they say because you already signed. You commit yourself to be with them. So saying no is against me. So nothing was nothing like you have to do this because nothing like that.
So I want to eliminate 3 people. I want to be in there for 30 minutes. I want to be the king.
Yeah. Then at the end, if you can take me out, if not, it's tough on you. No, that don't work that way.
So, actually, I was going to ask about the Kwang outfit as well. So, you went to, or it was made in Mexico. Were you presented with the Kwang character?
Few stuff.
Yeah. Did you have any hand in like designing the mask, an outfit, or did the WWF design everything for you and send the plans to you and tell you to get it made?
No, they don't know what they don't know. They just say let's put a mask on you, and the rest of how you're gonna do the character or whatever is depend on me. So knowing that I doing the martial arts, so Kwang coming from name of Oriental name, so you have to do martial arts. So I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, So I say, well, okay, let's do this. So the only request that I asked was about the mask. I said the mask have something dark where you cannot see the eyes because I don't have nothing Chinese, nothing Japanese. So how are you gonna do that? So the girls come with something to cover the eyes. The first prototype of the mask was like oh my god, crazy stuff, and you could see all my eyes, whatever. That's when I went to Mexico. I told the guy I want something like this and explain it, blah blah blah, how we do it. And he said, okay, what about this? I said, I love that. So that's what we create. We got the red sun like Japanese with the lining, the gimmick in the size, the dark in the eyes, so you can see the open mouth because everybody have the closed mouth. So I wanted the open mouth in where you could do the green stuff or the red stuff, and we changing a couple of things here there to make the character Kwang. So,
were you ever? Was it ever the plan to always be Savio Vega, maybe a year or two down the line, or why was the Kwang character sort of cut off immediately, and then you turned into Savio Vega a couple of months as a brand new wrestler?
Yeah, the Savio Vega character wasn't there. That come later on when the Puerto Rican Day Parade coming up. They need, they request WWF to have somebody there, and they don't have nobody, and the only Puerto Rican they have is nobody there yet. Nobody know who's that because it's under a mask with a different name. So they switched. They did the story where they switched Savio Vega, helping his friend Razor Ramon, and right there in Syracuse, where I make my tryout. And I come in, jump the fence, jump on the guys, blah, blah, blah. And next day, Monday Night Raw, who the hell is this guy, blah, blah, blah. My bad English, talking, so we start creating Savio Vega. What Savio Vega do. I hate that music and where I coming out. I say to them, I say to Jim Jones, I say, brother, it's a bunch of music with the timbales and stuff like that. The sounds a lot better. What about this? And I bring some music to him. What about it? He said, no, that one is good. I hate that music. That's a stupid music. He's like, no, we create that, and that's the one. I said, listen, If you, I put Santana, I put some some beat, where it sounds good to the music that I know with that song. Maybe that thing with the people going like, yeah, where you hear those timbales, whatever. So they keep the same gaga. So Savio Vega was born as a South Bronx guy coming out from the streets, blah blah blah, to join his friend from Miami, the bad guy Razor Ramon. Then the joke come out later on. That's when Razor don't want to do a tag team with me. He's pissed. He said, "No, this is a single man company, where you could make more money as a single than a tag team, whatever." And he was right. Of course, he was there already. What, 1 or 2 years before me?
92.
But he became friends. Okay.
Yeah.
So he became friends with what is it called? Shawn Michaels. Then Diesel arrived and blah blah blah, and they become very good friends. But we're supposed to win the tag team titles against Yokozuna and Owen, and Razor said, no, I don't want to be a tag team, blah, blah, blah. So that never happened, which was okay. I never win a title in WWF.
It's funny, for years, you were always listed as being the Intercontinental Champion for like one day. And then it was held up and then...
1 second.
Yeah, like 1 second. I don't know if it was against Goldust or Jeff Jarrett or something like that. I can't even remember.
Yeah, Goldust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For years, it said that you were the Intercontinental Champion for 1 second.
Goldust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in San Francisco with Goldust. And where I win the title because I hit it with the belt. Then Gorilla Monsoon come and say, no, because the match have to continue, blah, 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 blah. And we right there, the same day, we taped the second part in where Goldust win the belt. And the people was disappointed. You could hear the people, but that happened.
Did you at least get a photo with you with the belt so you could say, I had it once?
WWF have released a photo in where I'm in the ring with the belt. You could see me with the Goldust belt. By that time was painted in gold. I have one picture of that.
Just going back before, so when you and Scott Hall were teaming up, was there any plans to maybe turn this into a feud where one turns bad guy on the other and goes all around the place, one-on-one?
No. I believe after the joke, everything went down the drain. But what I team up with other people, do other stuff with other people. But the company run with their terms, the terms of the boys. So, I believe in that time they don't have they're strong, but wasn't that strong to tell the guy, no, you're going to do this because this is a story that we have. If you have something better, tell me. You don't have nothing better, that's what we're going to run for a couple of months, But
so straight away, so about a month into the WWF as Savio Vega, and then when you told that you're going to be going into the King of the Ring and going all the way to the finals in 1995, and were you terrified of facing Mabel because he seemed to have injured everybody else he ever got into the ring with?
Well, when I arrived the night before, if I'm not wrong, I don't was the Slammy or was the Hall of Fame? It was something like that. Yeah, I believe it was Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, because I did. That's when I received the plague of Pedro Morales. I believe that's when 1996, King of the Ring, and
it would have been 95.
Something happened.
95, I think. That's the one where. Yeah, that's the one where you go to the final. Yeah.
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 Okay. That's when Scott don't want to work with Mabel, and something happened. He said his ribs was hurt, some gaga. So they put me on. They said, okay, Savio Vega is the one's gonna wrestle. So I was the first wrestler that I remember. I was the first wrestler the work in the ring 4 times in one night. Then later Shawn Michaels did it, and I believe Triple H, if I'm not wrong, whatever. but I wrestle IRS, the Roadie, Yoko, and Mabel. You know, and no, I'm not scared to work with Mabel. I worked with him before, and was okay. You know, he was like a fluffy, you know, working with him. And I believe we have a good. The people believe that I want to win the King of the Ring. You know, you could hear the crowd when they 1, 2, 3 come. They whoa, you know. But it was good experience to do what we did, which is entertain the people.
Did the Philadelphia fans ruin it for you slightly? Because I think the fans were not happy at the thought of maybe Mabel winning, and they were looking for someone who was, let's say, better in the ring.
Yeah, I don't know if they have in mind. I mean, they have it all the way to have Mabel as a winner. You know, even with Razor, it was Razor. They put the competition between both and look good at the end, you know. But Razor don't want to do that. And a couple of weeks later, he have to do what he have to do, which is put over Mabel, you know. Yeah. So you run whatever you want, but we're gonna catch you anyway. So they did the match, and Mabel went over. Of course, he was already the king. But I have a great experience there. Working with all these guys. I was like a sharp blade there, big time. Good shape. I was good air. I hurt my ribs in the first match with IRS. I didn't even say nothing to nobody. I took a bump outside, and I sit in my ass. And when I went front with the power of the bump, I crushed my cartilage a little bit, and I was in pain. So I finished everything. We did what I have to do, and I just focus on what I have to do for the next 2 hours. And easy. I did what I did, and I never bitch and moaning to nobody.
I bet you didn't get 4 paychecks for your 4 matches, did you?
Well, I got paid.
Yeah,
but, you know, it was on the contract anyway, so it's, you know,
fair enough. Then.
It wasn't like we're gonna give you $10,000 for each match. That been good.
Yeah, that would have been a fantastic if they would have done. Sort of going a bit off where I was going to go is at the time. Do you remember? Because I imagine it was the first wrestling company that you ever been where it had like a drug testing program. Do you remember all the pain in the backside of all the doctors coming to the events and how much it sort of impacts on your day?
It was already in the contract. Plus, before that, they give us a little book about the drug test, why this, that, blah 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 blah, and was okay. You just come in and take a lick right there. Somebody will watching you, you know, and or they put the blue stuff on the toilet, you know, so nobody pick water from there or whatever. But was some, let's call it cock watcher, you know, and that's one of the thing that Scott Hall was telling the guys. Oh, this is a cock watcher. So, you know, you see the guys with serious face, like, oh, you son of a, you know, and here we come. You take a drug test, and that's it. And they sign the papers, everything under your name, seal, blah blah blah, and you sign too, and that go to the laboratory. The company know, of course, by years, where's the hot spots in where the guys could get fucked up. So if you come to Miami, you probably do a drug test on you, and you fly tomorrow to New York, and that's the crew right there too. So if you think you're gonna slide that on the door, is you run. They will catch you. And if something went wrong, of course they call you in the company and at the office and talk to you. But I remember, man, if they find, you know, few guys was too much. I mean, so everybody was taking care. It was more drinking than drugs, you know, and everybody was having, you know, behave, because everybody, all the boys know that check like that, nobody gonna get it. And working in 8 hours a day, so everybody was a good professional.
Yeah, I take it then nobody used. Mike Tyson came out recently, admitted for all those drug tests that he had to take, he had like a fake rubber cock with like a hole in the thing, and he squeezed someone else's urine through the cock to do it in the glass. I take it that didn't happen, or you didn't hear anything like that.
I remember one guy did something, and they catch him. He have to do the real one. He already passed. So one of the guys did that, and they catch him. But that's why they start coming with the blue stuff on the toilet. He said, we're going to use this toilet. Nobody else will use any other toilet. So they have the blue stuff right there, and you have to go there. That one. Now, leak.
And you're not allowed to leave until you do it.
Oh, yeah. And if you can't, drink water. They wait for you. Drink water, go do whatever you have to do. But when you have to pee, you got to come down here. And you have to do it. I mean, it's no. Some guys are like, I can do it. Well, take your time. They open the sink. They whistle. They do all kind of stuff to get the test. But I mean, you work New York, you go Miami. You got those 2 days of test, easy. If not, they just let go one. They catch you in the other one.
Do you? I'm going to sort of non sequitur and going from here to there and everywhere, but I've just got it written here because I remember emailing you like over a year ago to ask for your favorite Owen Hart prank, and I've heard a couple from you, and I've actually got a couple of quotes from other interviews of you in there. But do you have any particularly that come to mind now?
I don't know if I mentioned the one in Singapore was Dink. Dink the clown, Dink and Doink. So we got Dink. Dink is from Canada, and we are in Singapore. Between him, Davey Boy Smith, and me, we sit him in a chair and tape it with gaffer tape. We put gaffer tape all over, where he cannot move, and he just swing him through a big hallway, and I mean, it was funny. Davey Boy Smith, he pulled a joke one time. We are in Germany. Was in a hotel. We stay right there, and the disco was on a bottom, and everybody's at the disco. Have a good time. They close the disco. I don't know, 2:00 in the morning or something like that. So we leaving. When we leaving, I remember I'm with Lex. It was Lex, Bulldog, and me. So when we're leaving with a bunch of people, right there on the lobby in one of the seats is Mike Chioda, the referee Mike Chioda. So Davey Boys turn around, see him, and he sit next to him. Like that's what's the funny part. He just sit next to him, and Chioda is out. He put an arm around him and shake him, and he's out. And he said to Lex Luger, "Go to my room and get my clippers," And he said, "Okay." And so Lex went up, get the clippers, and come down. And Kyoto have a hat. He took the hat off, shake him. He don't move, and he start shave him. Bald, all this area bald. Shake his eyebrows. I mean, I'm like, I have pictures somewhere, man. And oh my God, and Kyoto was out. So finally, he's already cut or whatever. He woke him up. He's like, oh, let's go, because we leaving that morning back to the States. No, we went to we traveled supposed to another place, another country, and Mike Kyoto went to the elevator. When he saw himself in the mirror, you could hear him screaming outside. He was, oof. He went to his room, grabbed his stuff, and left. He flew the country. He left. Yeah, he left. And when the company found out what happened, everybody's like concerning about Kyoto. He left. Where's he at? So when they found out what happened, it was But Mike left. He left Germany. He just flew to the States. He said, I can let them see me like this, No eyebrows, man, no hair here. Oh, crazy. But we have good time with those two, man. I have missing those two guys, man. Is great people, great loving people. They are not with us now, and every time you see a picture of them in the internet or whatever, or some story come to your head about them, it's like, man, missing great people.
I remember I've just had one that I read and ended up writing about with Dink the clown. Is he Claude Giroux? That might be his name. And people, because he was really small, people kept stealing his bag and putting him on really high places. And then Owen Hart went, "Oh yeah." So he ended up chaining his bag to like the chain that operates the big doors, and running it straight up, and then padlocking the chain lock so he couldn't. So it's 40 feet in the air.
Yeah, Owen always have a rape on people, man. I don't know if you know the rape that he did to Lex Luger with the police coming out of the building. He wait till the match is finished and the people start getting exit out. So Lex is like, let's go before people say, yeah, wait a minute, I have to talk to Vince. So finally, the match finished, and he walk out, let's go, and he tried to hurry up. But already the police are out there directing traffic. Something happened. They spot the car, and they tell Lux to park on a shoulder. Right there in the front of the building. People coming out, big time. People was the building was sold out. So when police come and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Lex say, "How you doing? I'm Lex Luger, one of the wrestlers." That's always say, "Fuck off." So he said, "What do you say?" I said, "I just say nothing." Owen, shut up. He said, "Okay, can you give me a license or registration?" He said, "Fuck off." So the police say, "Okay, come out of the car." And Lex, he say, "Hey, shut the hell up, man. Look at what you're doing." So they make Lex come out of the car. He said, "Put your hands on the back." So Lex, he was on top. Hands in the back, legs open, and he's checking on him. So he's fighting with Owen from the back, and Owen over here is laughing with Bulldog. The fans coming, and I remember he say, "Man, look at what you did." The fans coming out, they taking picture of him. The police is with him, like they're gonna arrest him. That was a joke. He did a joke, and then Owen come out laughing, and he's like, "You son of a," he always the one that he did to me was so simple, and every time I remember, I laugh my ass. That's with the deer, and Owen always was a really man and great guy. Every time you talk to him, the first time I met Owen was in the street of Tokyo, Japan. And I arrived there at the New Japan Pro Wrestling for Onita. Inoki, thank you. And I went out to eat something, and my way back to the hotel, here he come with Martha, his wife, and I spotted because I saw him in a magazine and said, "Hey, man, how you doing? TNT, blah, blah, I'm Owen Hart, my wife, Martha, blah, blah, blah. And okay, see you later." And boom, he went one way and I went to the other. Then we met at the arena and we talked. But great guy. Great guy.
For all the places you've been and all the decades you've been in the business, is Owen Hart the best prankster? Or was there anyone else who could sort of get to his level?
Well, I believe Owen, because he do whatever he want, and everybody they do is laughing. Nobody wanna hurt him or get revenge on him. Like I'm gonna beat the hell this guy. No. Was a laugh. Was Owen. You have to laugh. He catch you. I got another one. My God, Crush, Crush got me on Canada, and my first year as Kwang. They called me, and he called me as like he was Vince. It's Savio, how you doing? I said, yeah, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You need to be at the lobby at blah, 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 because they're going to do the blah, blah. I said, okay, sir. So I was there at the lobby early and waiting. Here come Crush. What are you doing here? So I just waiting for somebody going to pick me up. And he know, of course, he did the joke. And I was waiting there for somebody to pick me up. It's early. The show is at night. Just waiting there. And he stayed with me, talking to me till I realized there was a joke. Another one was Owen. Oh, I remember that Owen did the same, but he made me go to the arena. I arrived at the arena. When I arrived at the arena, just the crew members setting the ring, all that. I'm there early, just waiting, so I don't ask nobody, just waiting for the crew. Till a point where I said, what the hell, And by that time, wasn't cell phones and nothing like that. The beeper come a little later, and I said, who are going to call? They called me at the hotel. I arrived at the building, nobody there, the ring crew, and waiting. And I asked the crew, do you know if it's... Then we know nobody's coming. I said, this son of a, And, it was easy, nice rips in where you laugh about, and now that we missing these guys is like hilarious.
Who did Owen pretend to be on the phone to get you to go to the arena?
Vince.
Oh, did he pretend to be Vince?
They all do Vince. Everybody was doing Vince, and Crush. Oh, he was. That's why one time I remember Hugo Sabinovich got in trouble, and I called the company, and the secretary says to me, Savio, Vince is gonna call you. I said, okay. So when Vince called, hi, this is Vince. I said, yeah. Who's this, please? This is Vince. You're not Vince. Don't fuck with me. He said, Savio, this is Vince. I said, okay, now I'm sorry, sir. And I explained to him, he laughed and said, okay, don't worry. And, he explained what happened there. But that's what they do. They imitate Vince.
So speaking of Crush, I'll skip ahead a few more questions. I wrote so many questions for you. I was really excited to talk to you. So speaking of Crush, you end up going in the Nation of Domination with him, Ron Simmons. Let me think who was out. There was the lawyer.
The lawyer and all three.
Yeah, Clarence Mason, that's the one. I've just remembered him. And Wolfie, do you know what? I was going to ask something else, but you've got to tell me. Yeah. Jamie Dundee. Everyone's got a Jamie Dundee story.
Yeah. Well,
it's a complete nightmare.
No. He did good. When I was with them, before they come on board, was Clara Mason, Ron, Crush, and me. Then later, the people start getting in, and you got the big crew. But those guys, to me, they're good guys. Nice people. I remember here in Puerto Rico, they wrestled one guy, Armandito Salgado. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there by that time, but I remember I was in the tour. I was in the tour in Japan or something. They wrestled Armandito, and I don't know. They have a problem. They have a discussion. Something happened between them. That he put Ben Gay, the rubber gimmick Ben Gay that went big time. And he I don't know if he put it on the shoulder and the elbow pad or knee or something like that. When he wrestled this guy, he just bring the Ben Gay and rub it in his eyes. I mean, you go crazy. He do that, beat the hell guy. I mean, beat the hell out of him in the ring. Bing, 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 bing. Then he went to the hotel. Next day, he catch a plane, went home. that happened here in Puerto Rico. But over there, they behave. They was good guys. Yeah. But
Do you remember the first time when the Nation of Domination was put together, and was it brought to you as like a Black Power faction? Because you must have thought there's only one black guy here, but it seemed to be like a Black Power faction, and against Ahmed Johnson for being, I think Ron Simmons would always term him an Uncle Tom. So it seemed always like really like race charged, but it was really confusing. You know, to have a Puerto Rican guy and several white guys in the group.
Yeah, they never mentioned to me nothing like that. Like it's gonna be a crew with the try to manage something out of the something that wasn't wrestling. They call it Nation of Domination. A lot of group in the United States, they start going against WWF, and by the time they want us to finish that, and that was power. That you see that crew coming down, that crew called the attention, and we beat the hell out of everybody. Good stories till the point where they, I believe they cannot do nothing more, and they destroy the crew, and everybody have their own faction, which is end on another fight between the factions, and the Nation of Domination was there. We have a meeting one time with was Ron Simmons, Ahmed Johnson, and me, because Johnson wanted to join the Nation by that time, and but Vince says no, that you guys going to be too strong, and now we have all these people on top of us, bitching and moaning about the crew, blah 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 blah, and we are like, oh, of course the crew will look super mega strong, with Ahmed Johnson there. But at the same time, thinking in business, you have all the nation strong, super mega strong, that make the rest of your crew strong too. Because now you have to make like a good crew of people. Razor Ramon, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, whatever, against this crew which want to take over WWF or something like that. And now you create more stuff. But the mind probably was a different way, and that never happened.
Did you have fun wrestling Ahmed Johnson? I can't imagine many people have said they didn't have much fun wrestling Ahmed Johnson and might have got a bump or two or a broken nose that they weren't bargaining for.
No, I of course I have fun with everybody that I work, because when you are a chef, you cook in every kitchen. So if you know what to do inside the ring, you know how to work somebody that probably don't have the same experience as you, or if you have more experience, that's going to be a night off, because you know what to do to get the crowd. So when that's my sayings all the time. If you're a good chef, you cook in any kitchen. The only thing you need to do is have the appropriate stuff, and fire. That's it.
Do you remember, because looking through when I was researching, doing the book on The Rock, I've written a book on The Rock as well, it seems like you beat him in the ring more times, maybe in the first year, than anybody else. Did you see anything particularly special the first time you got in the ring with Dwayne?
The first time I worked Dwayne was in Bahamas. Him and his late dad as a tag team against IRS and me. I don't know what happened with the promotion. There was WWF. This other guy rent us from the company to do his show in Bahamas. Man, it was empty place. Like now, we wrestled with no crowd. So that happened already 25 years ago. So was Rock and his dad against us, and something happened in the ring. The Rock missed one spot. Simple stuff. Let's say a switch hip toss or whatever. And he was so mad. He's like, I said, relax. We finished the match. And let's go back to the dressing room. I remember he was in the dressing room bitching and moaning, and his dad is like, relax, don't worry about that. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. When I arrived, I said, what's happened? He said, no, he missed a spot and he's pissed about that. I said, hey, brother, don't even think that no more. If that's a little bump, little hole in the street, you hit that and you continue. If you just hit that hole and stay there, you're not going to do nothing. You have to continue. that was a little mistake. You put that in the back, continue with the rest. Don't stay with that in your head, because it's gonna damage the rest of your match. And then later, many times. I remember one time we are in South Africa in a small place. It was like an open place. Some people that buy the show, and he was IC champion. Big rain coming out. I'm raining big time. So I have to come the match him and me. I say to him, brother, it's raining. I don't want to get hurt in the rain. Want to hurt one of my knees or whatever. I come in, we're going to do this. And I go for backdrop, give me a small package, 1, 2, 3. And we did that. And he's still with the belt on. And I remember I scratched my forehead with the belt. And when I come back to the dressing room, Jerry Briscoe was the agent, and he was fumed. He was pissed. What the hell is this? I said, well, if you come back in the ring and continue, he said, no, but don't do that again, whatever. I said, well, I take the heat. Don't worry, I take the heat, And but wow, I have somewhere I don't know how many books. He had just one book out, no? Rock.
Yeah, he had one biography, but then last year I wrote. He had an autobiography in 2000, and then I wrote a biography of him. Without
and he wrote that there. That I beat him many times.
No. I'm trying to think one thing that, because I wrote that you apparently, as far as I can tell, were the first person to ever take the rock bottom. Uranagi. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was the stoner. I was the first one to took the stoner for Stone Cold. The rock bottom, and I don't remember, to be honest. Maybe yes, because by the time he was just the beginning of his career. They tried to push him as a baby face big time. That's what the people was saying. Rocky sucks, because he the volume of the tune wasn't there, So till slowly they turn him heel and make him, let him loose, and he come up with his own personality, and he is there right now.
Yeah. Do you remember? Because I also wrote that there's many accounts of Shawn Michaels and Triple H trying to maybe undermine him to other wrestlers in the locker room, as well as maybe people in the office as well. Were you party to any of that, or did you ever hear anything?
No. Maybe if they did it straight to the boss when there. I was more concentrate my matches with Stone Cold. He was doing something with different guys, different stories. Then later I moved to do stories with Goldust, and then Nation of Domination. So I wrestled Rock a few times. Yes, his belt first lose, same as Stone Cold was with me, but we have fun in the ring, man. We have good matches.
I imagine you weren't in the building by this time, so we're going a little forward again to November. Was it 9th, 1997? So Montreal Survivor Series 1997. You know what I'm going to ask, but were you even in the building when the finish went down between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart?
Yeah, I was there. Yes, it's a documentary in where you could see me there, backstage talking to his ex-wife and the kids, playing with the kids and stuff like that. Yes, I was there. I was in the dressing room when they took everybody out, say peace, everybody out, and so and blah 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 blah. Then the punch happened. When nobody see the punch, everybody's outside, and the wife was furious in that moment. But yeah, I was there. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering actually if you would have stayed in the locker room with, because I know a few people had. I think the Undertaker and Davey Boy had.
No, nobody was inside the dressing room that I know. To be honest, they took everybody out. If I'm not wrong, because what's different dressing rooms. So Brett was in this other one changing, and everybody's outside. when that happened, we are like, that's that guy, what he did here. But that's when Vince come in with Shane, his son, and they went inside the dressing room and tell everybody to get out, you hear the rah, 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 and whoop, then Vince coming out. Was kind of a funny for me. I say that looked like a work, because the way Vince was walking, it looked funny, but I don't know. They know what they do there.
I will ask this, actually. This is sort of not going on to anything else, but I was wondering, in your opinion, who were the best and who were the best road agents, the backstage producers or agents? Who were the best and who were the ones who might not have given you the best advice?
One of the best guys, Pat Patterson, of course. Pat was, man, he just explain you whatever you're going to do with so professional, so magic. He go, hey, this, and boom. Jack Lanza was another of the agents, big time. And he was an old timer, 50 years for me, and was a great guy too with the talking. But of course, Pat was another thing. Pat was, I don't know. He got magic.
Yeah. Did you ever get advice from maybe George the Animal Steel? Because I've heard a couple of people say that maybe he wasn't quite as up there as Pat Patterson.
No, well, he was just his business that I know. He was my agent too, and on the road, and simple. He just go to business. This is what we're gonna do, and we out of that we maybe if we talk about something simple, maybe yes. But was straight to the business. This is what we're going to do. That's it. Let's go.
Do you remember, with information you handed down from the office of what they'd like you to do in the match, do you remember there being really any change between 1994 and 1998 when you were full-time active in the ring? Was there any changes in how you were dealt with over time?
No. Just do whatever you have to do in there. I never have the office calling me because whatever, because I remember. I always work, forget the people up their seats with spots and the situation inside the ring, how to develop the match inside the ring to get the people pop, either between the match or during the match or at the end, of course, to get what we want, which is the winning or the loser. When the people think you're going to win, then you lose. It's like, but you create this image in the ring. You paint this oleo nice. So at the end, you put your name, the people pop. But I never have a problem with the office telling me, don't do this, don't do that. One time, Sean talked to me. He said, "Oh, I remember that." Sean said, "Man, that kick that you throw, that's use the kick, which if you could do another kick because your kick is better than mine." But, that's my finish. I said, all right, no problem, because I do the side kick, and you see my kick and you see his kick. It's like, okay. So,
well, yeah,
but nothing. Then I use, that's when I do the spinning kick. Yeah, for a finish. But in few times in the beginning, I used the kick, the side kick. That was the kick that I was using here in Puerto Rico as a TNT.
So you must remember, and I bet you've been asked this so many times, but I love to hear stories about the Brawl For All. When was the first time you remember hearing about the concept? And how did you... What did you think your chances were in it? Because you must have seen maybe most other people's names in the tournament brackets. Where did you fancy yourself?
I'm in home. I remember I'm in home in a recliner. I have already the test on my neck. They did a test on my neck, and I was having the C7 nerve pinch to my left arm. And I wasn't home getting therapy. I have the 10, I have the eyes, everything. And I remember the phone rang, and it's Bruce Pritchard. And he say, Savio, and explain me. We have this, blah, 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 and it's going to be this, and you're going to make, and no matter what, you're going to make this type of money. And if you make it to the end, it's gonna be around $100,000. So it's like, sounds good. He said, you interested? I said, yes. But I said, remember, my neck right now is hurt, and I said, don't worry, this is not gonna be right now. So you have time to heal it. I said, all right, okay. So I continue with my therapy. I continue with my stuff. When the tournament coming down, in where they say, okay, we need to do this because such a day is going to be the tournament. I said, all right. So we sit down for the rules. So one of the things that the guys already make in rules was no kicks. He said no kicks because Savio is the only one that kick here. He knows some karate. He's going to kill everybody. So, no kicks. All right. It's not going to be elbows. It's not going to be headbutts. It's not going to be fighting the floor. And all the couple of things, So, okay, good. Everybody agree? Yes. Takedowns was going to be 5 points, I believe was. And knockouts, of course, is okay. And you win and you continue to the next one. So, I did my first, and right there we pick up the names, and I was sitting here, and Bruce said, okay, Savio, you pick up. So I put the hands and start bring names down, blah, 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 blah. I did my first match with Bracos.
Yes.
Since that fight, I don't know where is that guy. I love to get in contact with him and to talk to him. Yeah. Great guy, man, great guy. And he called me and asked me, Savio, we have this match. I said, yes, but this is real. I said, yes, we need to beat the hell out of each other for 2 minutes, 3 rounds, I believe it was. And but real? Says, yes, you're gonna make this money like this. It says, yeah, explain me. But he still believed that it wasn't, real. So we had the match. I broke his nose, man. And he was so pissed. After that, I believe he don't want to talk to me because I appreciate the guy. I was with him backstage, and we talked about the business. He was brand new. He don't know nobody there. So I believe, he trusted me, and now they put us to fight, and that trust somewhere. Then I fight him, and I didn't even fight almost in 2 months or more than 2 months, because that was more than 2 months. Yes, more, because that matches was every Monday, so it was live, and more than 3 months. A lot more, and that gave me a chance to fix my neck, and feel a lot better. My second match with Dross, I lost that one, and so I finished right there. They want to push. Jim Ross want to push
Dr. Death, Steve Williams,
big time. And my God, that I mean, if the people outside went crazy because the knockout, backstage was double crazy. You could see, because all the guys were kind of mad because Jim want to push his friend, and he sold the guy like he was the tough guy, but they don't count on the Bar gun. Bar was a tough son of a bitch. He knocked everybody except Bob Holly, which was his partner, but he knocked everybody out. I was lucky that I lost.
Do you? Oh damn! I had a question in my head, then it's just gone completely out. Do you remember? There we go. I've got it. Do you remember the first time maybe Dr. Death Steve Williams was obviously the office favourite to win, and obviously the locker room just loved it when he got knocked out. But do you even remember the match? Because they were giving live scores out, and they were completely doctoring the scores. They were making up the scores like Bart Gunn was losing, and he clearly wasn't. And they weren't giving him takedowns, and they were giving Dr. Death takedowns, and the fix was in. So do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember just saying, "Oh no, they're gonna somehow screw Bart out of this, even though he's definitely won"?
Well, the point here is in the back. The only thing you see is the image. you don't hear the voiceovers. So we had Bar winning because it looked like he was winning till the fatal punch come out. Fatal. I mean, when that punch come out, everybody was wow in the dressing room because we see that like they try to push him to our throat, like, hey, you have to eat this no matter what, eat it. So it's like, well, you have the chance to fight back, so we fight back. It's like he's a great guy. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's like out of place. So they did that to push him like the tough guy, but he got out. He got TKO.
It's always said that you were injured in the fight with Droz. Is that not the case?
No. You know what happened? I remember I was in the hotel. Wake up, I call my wife. I say, hey, I have the Brawl For All today. I have a match. She said, okay, go to the gym, warm up. Get loose. I said, I'm okay. I'm stay here. I remember I was taking the fat burners, and I took my fat burners, but I stay in the hotel. So that fat burner worked on me, but work on me. It will make me weak, make me going, And man, I remember when I went inside the ring, my legs was like a rubber. I have no power. It was like I have sex all night long. Then went to the fight, and I got out. I got knocked out. No. I went lose my points,
Yeah.
But it's like if you see the match, you see me coming down the ring. I don't know, and then my God. Was a good stuff.
What must it feel like where you're in the ring against someone who's going to be fighting you, trying to knock your head off for real, and deep inside that you're just not feeling 100%? You must be like, oh no.
Man, I'm telling you, it's like he was pushing me to one side, my legs went that way, then he hit me with the other one. I tried, get the balance and like that. Rubber legs, spaghetti legs, in that time, I remember. The other day, I somewhere, I believe in Instagram, I saw a picture where he's ready to like punch me. I'm like in the back looking at him, and nice. But I wasn't there. To be honest, that day I wasn't there.
Well, do you know, actually, I'd written in my notes here that you were injured, and that's why you never really wrestled again on the American WWF television. I think you had some matches afterwards on Super Astros. Am I right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how come you never wrestled for the WWF on Raw or any of the American shows?
Yeah. Last match that I did was on Raw. Already before that, I think maybe like month. WWF have me in their main office to do voiceover in Spanish because I believe it was Carlos or Hugo, one of the two, was on vacation. So they flew me there to do the voiceovers, and so they give me the key of the company, the office. With this key, you go everywhere. I said, to Vince's office. I said yes. So in one of the days I went there. I was there for 1 week. So I went to the room and I said to him. To his office, said, hey, let's train. He said, okay, let's train tonight. So he cannot make it that day. Next day, we start training. And I remember training with him is when I noticed that the power of my left arm was weak, doing tricep. So I'm laid down in the bench with my dumbbell here, pushing up. When I'm pushing up, and when I start doing that, I just did 5. And number 6 is like no power. It's try to push it, no power. And Vince was like, come on, but no power. And that's when I realized was something from my neck. One match that we did at Raw was tag team with Miguel Perez, I believe so. We finished the match. I was in pain. I mean, I saw the match later on TV. And I went from the ring straight to Vince's office. He was talking to Taker. I didn't even knock. I just opened the door and I just I just lay down, throw myself in the couch there because I can't even have straight. I cannot be like this. I was holding my head or against something because the sharp pain of the nerve pinch was so bad that So I talked to him. I said, I can't with the pain. I'm my neck, blah blah blah. So they sent me. I flew to Puerto Rico, MRI, and they right there. It's C6L nerve is pinched my left arm. So they took me out of the roster. I got fixed, went to the fight. Then after the second one, out. When out of the roster, I did special referee for Super Astros match. I don't remember if I have a match, to be honest. But we did special referee. I was more backstage as an agent for the Super Astros.
Did you have any say in the creative direction of Super Astros, or did you help put matches together, or pick a top guy?
Of course, all the direction come from the office. In that particular, we have Bruce Prior as an executive chief director. You got Hugo and me, and so we put together the vignettes. That was Spanish. So Bruce don't speak Spanish. So Hugo and me, we put together with the guys to create what we need, the magic that what we need. That show was so good in Univision, 13 weeks of half an hour show of Super Astros. When they become to negotiate with the money, that's when Univision don't want to pay the money that Vince was asking, and everything went down the drain. So also the whole Spanish side went down the drain. So that's when they finished me, and they finished the rest of the crew. The only guys that stayed there for a little longer was Esa Rios and Super Crazy. The rest of the people go home.
So during your WWF tenure, did you ever get any interest from ECW or WCW or even Japan? Was anybody trying to lure you away from the WWF?
No. After we finished in WWF, we flew to Puerto Rico to do Puerto Rico IWA Puerto Rico, and I stay there. I stay here full time. We work 7 days a week, 24/7 for that company, and we success in many things that we did. But I never was interested in going nowhere because we have a full job here. We're working, like I say, 24/7, big time, busy, and I stay here.
I've got to ask this one question because I always love the answer. Jim Cornette or Vince Russo, and why?
No, to me, Jim Cornette. I like Corny. He's more down the earth with the reality of stuff. Of course, you could do anything in wrestling. Anything. It's nothing that you can say you cannot do that. Yeah, it's possible because it's life and you're creating something. And Vince Russo maybe have that too, which is good. But to me, corny.
In TNA, how did you end up getting attached to TNA? Because it was around 2008, wasn't it? I think that you were invited. Was it Dutch Mantel who brought you, recommended you?
Yeah. Yes, Dutch was working for me in Puerto Rico, and Jeff Jarrett stole it from me. He took it to TNA because he offered more money, of course, and of course he gonna go. So he left there. Then we closed the company here, and he called me. He said, "Savio, I got this opportunity for you, making this type of money. Are you interested?" I said, "Well, it's more than what I'm making right now." Yes. So I went there. He put me in charge of the knockouts, the girls, of course, with his direction, and I put my Puerto Rican sauce on that for the company. And sorry, I got somebody calling here, and I cannot. You there? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry, somebody was calling. Okay, and And so I was in charge of the girls, and I went put my sauce, like I said before, to get the girls up. We don't have too much time on television. They give us sometimes 2 minutes and a half. It's like, what the hell you could do in 2 minutes and a half? So that's television plus 45 minutes to entrance. So I said 45 minutes to entrance. So I said to girls, walk fast as you can to the ring, so we could those time here. So from 2 minutes and a half, we could have 3 minutes. If you walk right away and we win that time. In 3 minutes, we could do something, not much, but we could do something. And that's what we did. Pam, 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 up and down, 1, 2, 3 on time. And I was happy with the girls. We always have good rating numbers when the girls come out because it was good wrestling. And I went off my way, something that I don't have to do, but I see if I'm going to be in charge of the crew, I'm going to be full charge of the crew. So on Wednesdays was the television. I reunite the girls at 8 o'clock in the lobby Wednesday. They don't have to be at the building till noon. But I said, no, we're going 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to train. We need to train. You guys are still green and a bunch of stuff, and I want you to be good. So we arrive at the building there, 8:30, let's say, and we right away change. Don't change already. Don't start changing here. Come change. Be ready. We jump in the ring. We start doing drills and spots and stuff like this to make it better, and tell the problem with the company happen, and they let go a lot of people.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned ratings because I seem to remember many years ago reading that the knockouts, the women, were getting the best ratings on every TNA show at the time. So why wouldn't they give more time to the best ratings?
I don't know. To be honest, I mean, I don't know the strategy. Who was behind the strategy? Wasn't that smart, to be honest. Because I mean, if the girls are the one that pulling you that rating, go for. Let's make more with them. I remember in a pay-per-view matches, we have this blast matches. The girls work hard, and I was there with them every second. Everything they want to do in the ring, I know everything. Like I was part of the match, and I went to the truck and I called it the shots. This, what about that? Here's come this way. Something's gonna happen here. Blah 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 blah. And man, we did a pay-per-view somewhere in the States, and the people went crazy. And I was so happy in the back, yelling and I was buying because the product come the best way we did, And I congratulate those girls every time, and took it to eat sushi, and have a good time with the girls. Good time, good girls.
Who are your star pupils? If you were the teacher, who were the best? Who were top of the class?
Who? Oh man, they all work hard. Yes. My favorite was Kwang. Kwang worked hard. You have man. The other day I was talking about her. My name, Jesus Christ. I mean, but they all work hard. They all work very, very hard. There wasn't nobody nothing. They work hard. To be honest.
Do you remember, because I'm going to bring up Jim Cornette again, actually, because I heard him talk about, it almost sounds like a conspiracy when really it wasn't, but around, I don't know if it was like the end of 2008 to somewhere in the middle of 2009, there seems to be all the best people who worked for TNA behind the scenes, like you, Road Dogg, Jim Cornette, a couple of others, they all seem to get fired one by one, almost like it was like a Halloween movie. And then, and if Jim Cornette's to be believed, it was Vince Russo behind the decision to try and get rid of everybody and then put his crew in. And then,
one of the things that I hear was the lady, I forget the name.
Dixie Carter.
Dixie. Something happened between Dixie and Jeff, and where I believe Jeff was leaving the company, or he was starting with the his wife or something. Some gag happened there. Something that that I even was involved. The only way that I was involved is because I was in a team with Dutch and Jeff. If you're in that team and we take over, of course, that team got to go. So that happened to me. What is the name? The Red Rooster, Terry
Taylor.
Taylor. I'm in home, and I was thinking, okay, this week I'm gonna work paying the house this, so check next week is gonna be like that. When he called me, he said, Savio, I'm sorry to tell you, but they didn't want to let you go because something. I said, come on, man, don't tell me that. He said, yes. I said, that's bullshit. I said right there, and that he's like, well, how is this business? I said, man. So I called Dutch, and Dutch say, they just called me too. I'm on the road going home, and they just tell me. I said, well, so we gone, man. I said, son of a bitches. He said, well, this is the way the business is. That's true. It's politics. Dirty politics.
It's all politics. What did you think of Dixie Carter as a boss then? Was she in over her head, let's say?
I never have words, more than 5 words, I believe, with her. Never. She was in a high blah, 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 And, if you're a boss, you need to talk to everybody, all your employees, find out what's going on, how is the business, how is everything, No, she was kind of a, we call in Puerto Rico high chochetti, which is high
society.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you up to now then? So you left TNA in 2009. Have you just been working in Puerto Rico ever since, pretty much?
Yeah. Yeah, always. I never left Puerto Rico since I was in WWF. I always live here in Puerto Rico. Oh. Always come back home. Yeah, always come back home. Easy. You got 2 hours and a half to the East Coast, traveling right there. Then from there, depends where you're going. You got 4 hours or 6 hours of traveling, maybe 1 or 2 planes. If you go to the west side, you better catch 2 planes easy, or 3 planes maybe, depends of where you're going. But I always live here, always stay here. Love my house, love my people, and I always stay here. To be honest, I've been traveling all over the world from here, from representing that flag right there.
So it's worth the extra 2.5 hours to be with your friends and family and be on the island.
Oh, always finish on Sundays, or maybe finish on Tuesday, Wednesday morning. Arrive home. Even sometimes be there a day and a half, sometimes 2 days, and go back. Sometimes 1 day, just arrive 1 day, because next day you're going to the east, to the Europe or whatever. So you come home, shower, shower, shave, and shit in the 3S, and clean your stuff, whatever, and go back on the road next day.
God, I could never. I know I say I could never do it. So few people could ever do it. It just sounds like such a nightmare. But if you're that way inclined, and you just live on the road and you love it.
Yeah, I love it because you live in your bag, and you go all over the world. You have your clothes, you have your wrestling stuff. You get paid for what you're doing. You're doing what you love to do, and hey, why not? So you got business class, sometimes economy class, but you are in the middle of on your way to Europe, and to do what you love to do. It's nice.
Right, so a little game. I thought it would just be, I don't even have a name for it yet. I was just thinking a cool guy, not a cool guy, all 90s WWF from 94 to 97. I'll give you a name. You tell me if they're cool. Tell me if you're not. If you want to throw a little story in there, no or yes or whatever you feel like. So I'll give you some names and you see what you think. Number 1, Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, cool guy. He reminded me and Survivor Series his tryout was with me. I never remember that until he reminded me. And we have good matches, and that's what he said the other day. I say, wasn't for Savio and I have a job here. He did his tryout with me, and we worked many times. Good guy, yes.
Crush. I know you love Crush.
Oh, man. Not because he passed, but he was a cool guy. I worked with him in Puerto Rico many years before. When we met again in WWF, we have fun inside the ring, working with him in South Africa. Joking guy, loving guy. Miss him. I met his kid a couple of years ago, and I was doing IWA Florida, and another friend bring him, his stepdad bring him down, and he said, man, this is Coach's kid. He like to work. Of course he gonna work. And he worked for me over there like 2 times. Yes.
How big was he?
Good guy. Tall guy too. He's coming. Yeah. I mean, when I met him, was a kid, still a kid, and was tall. So I didn't see him in already almost 4 years. So I have to be bigger.
Bruce Pritchard.
What an ass. Bruce is cool. Bruce is cool. Businessman all the way.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff worked with him. Met him working here in Puerto Rico. First time I met Jeff, I don't remember, was in some guy run a show in the States, and I saw him there. Also, if I'm not wrong, in Mid-South Wrestling in Louisiana. Then here in Puerto Rico, that's where we have more of the business, because he worked for Carlos too, or us, but more talking about more business, no? Where you have more one-on-one, and of course WWF we worked many times. So good guy.
Rick and Scott Steiners.
Steiners met them in Japan. First time, right. Yes, I met them in Japan. Yeah, never have a problem with them. Good guys, work hard in the ring. Work with both, as a tag team. Great guys, funny motherfuckers too.
Howard Finkel.
Yes. Oh man, God bless his soul. Speak Spanish. Because all the Puerto Ricans they work in WWF, and he was there, like Estrada, Johnny Rods, Johnny Rivera, Jose Rivera, Victor Rivera, The Invader, Pedro Morales. When he I was from Puerto Rico, he speaks to me a little bit here there, couple of things here. What a guy, man. What a gentleman. What a human being. Big time professional. Man. And last 2 years ago, maybe, 2016, matter of fact, was when the Stone Cold tape coming out, the game. He's the one calling me. He said, Savio, it's a game coming out 2016 for Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're the first one, have the stoner. You're the first one to work with him, blah, 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 blah. If you like to be in the games, of course, why not? Are we going to pay this kind of money? I said, hey, you're going to pay me on top of that? That sounds good. So, and all the time that I talked to, last time that I talked to him was something about a show, something like that. Then later, I hear the news that he passed. But Howard, man, what a guy. Great guy.
Jim Neidhart.
Neidhart too. Good guy. I have good times with him. He was serious all the time, but he come up with jokes and stuff like that. Great guy. The father of Natalia, I saw her when she was a baby, a kid, and what nice, good people.
Man Mountain Rock. I can't remember his real name. Do you remember him? He had the guitar.
Oh, they make the WWF guitar.
Yes, yes.
That's it. Yes, they make that. He played good for sure. He know how to play. He got mad or something like that. He took the guitar with him. He left the company and he took the guitar with him. I remember that. Nice guitar. They make that guitar.
Yeah.
And with the logo. And he took it. He left. I don't know what he's still alive. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still alive. I think. I think he's.
Yeah. Oh,
I think he's trying to be a musician or something. There's like some heavy metal musician now.
Yeah, he was into that. Spicoli, nice guy too. Worked with him in WWF. That's when I met him. He was from West Side, somewhere in the West Side, if I'm not wrong. But good guy, man. A little crazy, a little bit all over the place, but great guy, great kid.
Barry Horowitz.
Barry too, nice people, quiet guys. For his business, good worker, great worker in the ring, clean guy all the time. Nice, good people. Yes.
Tammy Sitch.
Tommy Search.
Sonny.
Who's that?
The blonde girl, Chris Candido's girlfriend.
Yes. Well, she was into her business, of course, but I never have nothing against her. Good people too. That I remember, I never have problem with nobody. I went there to do my business, and she was a good girl. She was a young talent that arrived at the company and did what he had to do for survive. But good person.
I'll give you a few more, and then I promise I'll be done. Lisa Wolf. Do you remember who Lisa Wolf was? She worked in the office.
Yeah, I remember a little bit. Never have too much interacting with her, but that I know was just business. Yes.
Marty Jannetty.
Great guy. I love Marty. Marty is great, man. Body man, 24/7. I hear he just fixed his ankle. He have an ankle in bad shape for many, many years. And I just hear about a couple of months ago that he fixed it. He's still with little trouble here or there, but good guy. Great guy. Worked with him a few times.
Sid.
Sid, nice too. Sid was into his business when they want to give him push, eating gyms left and right all the time. Good people to talk, nice. That I remember, I just went in a ring with Sid, maybe in some kind of brawl or something like that. Never have a match with him.
And I'll give you one more. Jimmy Del Rey.
Jimmy, a crazy son of a gun. Jimmy was crazy. Yeah.
I was hoping for a story.
Oh, it's one, but it's hard to say, man. It's true. It's heavy. But Jimmy was good, crazy motherfucker, but good people.
Right, so then I'm going to thank you so much for your time. But before I let you go, you said at the beginning that you had a book out. I had no idea you were writing a book. When's it coming out?
Yeah. Well, we planning, of course, coming at the end of November, maybe December. Hope if it's a little bit before, hope come out. A lot of things that we put in there. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of photos of many things, and of course, stories that I ain't even said, to do the out, so people could read it there.
You've got to keep save something for the book.
Kayfabe. So everybody's going to enjoy that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll be reading it. Do you know what? When it comes out, I would love to have you on for another 6-7 hours asking you more questions.
We will. We do. Don't worry. Yes.
Have you got any Instagram, any Twitter, anything else you'd like to mention right now?
Yes. People could find me on Instagram as Tio Savio Vega, which is T-I-O, like Uncle Tio. Tio Savio Vega, Tio Savio Vega on Instagram. On Facebook, you could go to Savio Vega official fan page. On Twitter, they could check me at Savio Vega or at Ninja TNT. Also with IWA Puerto Rico in all platforms. IWA Puerto Rico, you could go at YouTube and check all the arenas and matches that we have here in Puerto Rico with the talent his matches for 2002, and wow, a bunch of matches there in IWA Puerto Rico on YouTube. So you can find there, man, and give him a thumbs up, give me a follow, and help the growing offense going up.
Yeah. Right, so then I will mention every single one of those on every single video I post and on the podcast and everything. I will promote all of them as best I can.
Thank you.
As I said before, if you ever want to talk for another four or 5 days with me, I'd love to when the book comes out. And I'll read it cover to cover and get some great stories. But for me, James, for Savio Vega, thank you very much for joining us once again, and we'll see you next time.
God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you.